Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope you all care, so share. And yes, please sound off in the comment section below. It goes without saying that, yeah, I'm excited. TXT track time is happy, right? We've covered this athlete from the dawn of, TXT track time. 11.16 seconds as a high schooler. Phenomenal. Phenom. She matriculated to college, and we're like, listen, this girl is going to take the world by storm, become a world beater. But of course, that's not what happened. And we started to ask questions from early on when it came to, just how Kevona was progressing. Yes, we saw her getting faster, right? Slowly but surely, she was getting faster. She got down to 10.95 seconds over the 100 and 22.26 over the 200. But we were asking, like, why is it that Kevona isn't improving at a faster rate, a greater rate? And then when we started to compare, her to her teammate at the time as well at Texas, that was Julian Alfred. We were going, okay, if Kevona Davis is coming from, an 11.16, like, why is she not, any better than what we see going on for other athletes, right? And guess what? Julian Alfred is now the Olympic champion. You know what I mean? So it makes things even worse now in our minds. Like, all right, listen, Coach Flo, what was going on with Kevona? At the time he did respond. Funny enough, he did respond because I believe at the time many Jamaicans were asking also, what was going on with Kevona, and he said, "Me not care." To this day, that's still a wild comment, I swear. But yeah, he was saying he doesn't care what the Jamaicans think. You know what I mean? At the time, Kevona had some confidence issues, according to him, and they were working backwards, when it comes to, rectifying that particular problem before they can go forward, right? No, I kind of asked the question at the time, what does her confidence issue have to do with, her just improving technically, right? I get confidence issue, her not being able to, probably place how she should place in competitions, right? But her technique, her craft never improved any at all, right? That was the progress that we saw from Kevona was just, her probably just getting older, and yeah, obviously she would be, yeah, getting better year in, year out, but not to the rate that her talent would say that she should be able to progress, right? So that's not what we saw happening for Kevona Davis. And yeah, no, Kevona Davis, done with college. And we asked again, like, all right, something right with what was going on with Kevona. Are we going to lose her? Like, really and truly, are we going to lose Kevona Davis? We can't lose her, right? And I know we see the likes of the Clinton twins, coming through. Of course, there's the likes of Brenna Listons that we're expecting to come through as well. Alana is there. So many other athletes are there that are competing. That doesn't mean I want us to lose Kevona, right? That doesn't mean I want us to lose out on such a phenomenal talent that can stand atop the world, I believe, and be a part of that legacy for female sprinting in Jamaica. Absolutely not. So we were going to keep asking about her, and I think it's important that we talk about our athletes actually and let them know that, hey, we still look out for you, we still think you're great, those type of things. So we were asking, hey, Kevona, we're not liking the fact that we're not seeing nothing going on with her, at all. And no, Glenn Mills has confirmed that she is, coaching or being trained at Racers Track Club. So yeah, we are over the moon. She's back in Jamaica. And I think over the years, I've watched what has happened with sprinters, short sprinters, training in Jamaica versus overseas. And I think they've had better success in Jamaica than they've had overseas, right? So no, she's back in Jamaica. She's been coached in Jamaica. And it's so funny because I remember back in the day when she was about to go to college, right? The concern or the question was, should she stay in Jamaica? Should she go overseas? And she, chose herself or her family, I suppose. They all came together and made that decision to send her to college. And don't get me wrong, sometimes in life you can't really tell what's going to, well, not sometimes, all the time. Nobody can see in the future, right? So you can't really say if that would have been the best decision for her at the time. Now we're realizing realizing that maybe it wasn't so much the best decision, right? Of course, she has her college degree, right? But thinking about what she has been able to, attain in track and thinking that it could have been better, you may be thinking that, maybe Texas wasn't the best, choice for her at the time. No, she's back in Jamaica where she could have been from day one, starting from scratch, right? The scratch is, 10.95, 22.26, but, being back in Jamaica kind of makes you wonder, well, maybe you should have just stayed here, from the get go, right? So, with that being said, I am excited, as I said, though, that she's back here. I think with how our sprint culture works, that it should be best suited for her. I've seen other athletes come back. When you look at an Ashanti Moore as well, similar year group, to a Kevona Davis, she's now making, inroads as well, when it comes to her progress, in the sport. Another one that was really, really, awesome from in high school. Chose to go overseas initially, but found their way back to Jamaica. And now they're seeing the progress, right? But with the type of, accolades, coming out of, racers, you're thinking that, hey, things should be awesome for Kevona Davis. But at least that's what you should be thinking. But honestly, at this particular point, even though I'm excited, I'm actually not celebrating. I'm not going like automatically great. Kevona Davis is gonna, storm the world in the next few years. No, right? And part of the reason why I'm not, celebrating, even though I'm excited, I'm not celebrating, is because I don't really know what to go off. I'm a type of person that when I'm, reacting to or commenting on things, I like when there is history. When there's no history, I want to sit back and wait and see. You know what I mean? So at this particular point, racers has a ton of success when it comes to the sprints on the male side, not that much, from the female perspective. So it makes me go, is this, the best place for Kevona Davis? Is this going to work out? Now, don't get me wrong, not because we haven't seen, that level of success that we've seen on the male side, on the female side there means it won't happen, right? But just from my perspective and how I generally look at things, because there's not much to go off, I'm literally just waiting and seeing, at this particular moment. And I know some of y'all are gonna say, but T, most recently, Racers has had that success with Toby Amosan in the women's 100-meter hurdles. She won the silver medal there. So yeah, Racers is showing that they, can have that success on the female side. But at the same time, I'm going, is that Racers like old school Racers, Glenn Mills Racers, or is that Racers with the addition of Lassina Golden Clark, right? At the end of the day, based on, at least the information that I'm getting, is that Lassina is still Toby's coach. So yes, they're trained out of Racers, but, Lassina is still her coach. So I still have those questions, I suppose, and concerns from a female perspective, is will we be able to see the same type of success we have seen on the male side with the females, right? Now, am I saying it's only on the coach to ensure the success? Not really, because ton of times we hear where athletes were not able to make it to the next level. It has absolutely nothing apparently to do with the coach. Just the athlete. The athlete themselves, they weren't putting in the work, that was required to take them to the next level. So I think that is also going to be important. It's been a couple of years, well, not a couple, it's been over a year, I suppose, no, since Kevona Davis has touched the track. Last time was at the trials in 2024, right? So she hasn't touched the track in a minute. So am I thinking that this is just going to be something automatic that works? No. For me, I kind of just want to see her first few races and see where she's at. Honestly, I'm not even thinking 2026. When it comes to Kevona, I'm thinking more 2027. That's where my thought process is. I think we'll be able to see her potentially get back into being competitive, at least, I think, with the top girls now. And the younger generation is taking over, really and truly, right? So get back into being competitive with them and hopefully progress past that 10.95, that 22.26. I think it's going to be a challenge, but I think that, hey, she has to put that work in if she wants the result. Look at and see what the younger girls that came after her actually are doing, right? Because as I said, for me, how phenomenal of a talent Kevona Davis was, I thought she would be the next wave, for Jamaica before we even got to the likes of the twins, right? But the twins are now, in that next wave, and Kevona Davis is now left behind. So it's gonna be a task for her, both not just physically but also mentally as well, to bring herself, in that kind of mind frame to want to be, among the best that Jamaica is putting out right now. So let us see what happens with her from here on out. I'm happy she's back in Jamaica, absolutely back training locally. I think that's the right setting, at least for her. When it comes to, me going, it's gonna work immediately. No, I've learned my lesson. Trust me, I have learned my lesson. I've seen too many times where our athletes have gone to coaches in Jamaica that, train, well, or have had success with other athletes, and I go, wow, it's gonna work immediately, only to find out, yeah, no, it hasn't worked. It still hasn't worked. I'm still waiting for it to work, actually. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So Kevona is back in Jamaica. I'm excited, but at the same time, not celebrating, because I kind of want to see, what's going to go down. What are your thoughts, when it comes to this? Do you think it's just going to work, automatically, since she's now at races and races, has had success with sprinting, especially when you think about, most recently, notably, Oblique Seville walking away with the gold medal in the men's 100 meters. From that perspective, what are you thinking? I think, how racers has been able to improve Oblique Seville's craft technically, over the years, especially in 2024 into 2025. I've literally watched the improvements, and 2025, guess what, gold medalist, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, hey, Kevona is in great hands. For me, I just want to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.